Yo, welcome everybody to the Esports Arena North American Weekly here. I'm JetSetJamerson, joined once again by Tom Tsquared Daily. Excuse me, I was about to say Daily. Who's Tom Daly? That's a golfer. Anyhow, my intros are just getting worse and worse every week. But you know what? The action is about to pop off because our players are already into game number one. Tom, what are you expecting this week? I mean, I've been hearing a lot of things about teams changing up compositions, and we're going to see some shakeups.
Yeah, we got to watch out for Jimmy and his caustic. This guy is absolutely insane. Killed Liquid all by himself. Could be the best player in the game right now, Jamerson. We got to watch out for this guy.
Yeah, I was watching that just into the waiting maws of Caustic's barrels. But yeah, we've got 20 teams competing today for $1,000. That's $1,000 on the line for only the top 3 teams. And of course, we've got a 4-game set. During those 4 games, they've got to get as many points as possible. How do they get those points, Tom?
Yeah, they do it through kills and placement, 12 points for first place, accumulating all the way down to 15. If you get outside of top 15, you don't get any points. 1 kill equals 1 point. And if you can average around 6 points a game, you're going to be in the top 10, but everybody wants to get into the top 3. So you'd like around 15 points a game would be ideal.
Yeah, and so while we do have a lot of returning teams, we're looking at, of course, Liquid, NRG, the new, we can stop calling them MVP, CLG roster coming in as well, and the absence of TSM. And so we're seeing a different team over here at Fragment East.
Yeah, we're taking a look at NRG, getting it going. Going to be looting kind of all over the place right now. It's an interesting path. Maybe they got train station to themselves, or I'm not really sure what their plan is. It looks like it's a train station landing, but he wants to go and take the tunnel to kind of get the loot, because train station loot just isn't that good. So you'll be surprised if you see these guys walk out with anything more than a blue armor, which they're just kind of passing up. I think there was some blue, maybe a battery right there, but you don't really get purples over at train. Maybe you're going to be able to get the vault, but it's one of the biggest points of interest with the worst loot. I've never understood train.
Yeah, train, typically when we saw it in the past, right, we saw Liquid dropping there a long time ago, and it was more of a drill site and train, never just train alone. But we saw a team actually over there. Here we go, CLG coming in, Madness, Pow Pow, and Vaxlon. Really excited for this team. They've been on the up and up for quite some time now. And Vax, there we go. He's going to be able to hang off the side. But yeah, congratulations to them for the signing. Very exciting. You know, they've had one of the best performances across like the 3 former CLG players, right? When they did the 3 CLG split with their own separate teams. There we go, though. On board with Onmu, Blitzen, and Vayne. As
very good armors.
They're going to be able to, have Mirage for free.
That's what happens when you get Mirage. That's why it's such a good spot. And when you go and look at this, they're kind of setting up. I'm not sure exactly where the circle's pulling. Maybe those are just random barrels, but it does seem like they're in a good spot for this end zone. So having a Caustic and a Watson together, this is going to be very hard for any team to push them. This is a super ideal situation for these guys. They have great armors. They have a scout. They have a wingman. They're in perfect position right now. So they just need to figure out exactly where teams are going to come from, get an early gen down when it comes down so you get more fences. And these guys are in the best spot right now in terms of position.
Yeah, in terms of position and equipment, yeah, basically this is the Rogue special when they get this ring. Unfortunate that they weren't able to recover at least that blue light mag that's still pinged over there. If someone could remove that, come on, guys. It's going to be NRG that's actually playing below them. So I'd be interested to see if they try to go for this, or if they just, you know, go for placements at this point. There's no real need for them to push the limits here in game number 1.
Yeah, no Pathfinder, so the rock that they're trying to play really isn't as ideal as they would hope, but they're going to be pleasantly surprised when they see who's up there, another pro team. And this Gibraltar, you know, it's nice to think about that you're going to be able to hold it off with a white armor, but you're not going to be able to. So they decided to portal out over here towards the choke, but there's another team right here just sitting there.
Yeah, that's the nice Wraith buff that came in with her Q, right? You get to at least see now when you use that. And so He doesn't take too much damage as he's able to back off, and it looks like they're just going to be stuck in this household. They don't have that choke control anymore, and so they can't play for the KP towards Thermal. We do have, looks like Pubski member and Count Dooku over at Lava Fissure making their way on out, just completely disengaging from this fight.
Yeah, and they have the beacon scan. So if we can take a look at the map soon, we can see exactly what their second circle is going to be. But their armors are complete doo-doo. They're trying to get out of there immediately. Blue armor on your Wraith is ideal, but you have to just avoid any fights right here. Try to go through the choke. Try to get in towards the center of the map. That's why you're playing Pathfinder and Watson. They need to start getting to Mirage immediately. They have it scanned. So it's going to be tough for them because you should have been rotating probably about a minute ago. The fact that someone's over at Lava Fissure is probably two teams landing over there, or maybe you heard a third party and you went to go over there, but now you're getting gate kept on this side by this team. This team's in not that bad of a position. This having a Caustic over here is a pretty solid spot. This is our boy Jimmy, as we were saying. They're going to be able to have a nice little rotation once they see where this zone's going to be closing, and they don't really have to worry about much resistance from behind.
This was the curse building that we saw last week with what? It felt like a third of the lobby basically died inside this building. Yeah.
We'll just call it the liquid building. Tilted them right off the map. We never surprised they even came back this week.
Out of the server. Out of the
I'm
tournament.
Just kidding, guys. I'm just kidding.
Hey, we love you boys. We love you boys. But here we go. Yeet Squad now making their push. Oh, the Wraith in the port. Does have to be careful as she is cracked and will go down. That's synced. I believe it's Synced, Wicked, and Timmy that are playing together, but Bowser taking way too much damage there. Has to back away, and it looks like they're going to be able to port him out possibly as they're setting it up now.
Yeah, and that's a really nice knock right there, but that's so much damage on your Watson that you have to be super careful. But the thing is about these guys is, this is who I was watching before the tournament started, is their communication's so good. They're always small talking, figuring out a couple steps ahead. They have backup plans, they have normal plans, and you're going up against some really, really skilled players right here. So Timmy with the purple armor may try to do some crazy stuff because Timmy's one of the most aggressive Pathfinders and you love to watch his screens. So he may try to get that banner, hit the Q over there, and then try to escape and get a res off at some point because he sees that they turtled back in the building. But you can see Bowser and friends, they're really not having it. Yeet Squad wants to get aggressive on those banners. They realize who it is. It's another really good team. So they're already, again, thinking a couple steps ahead and thinking about exactly what that team's going to do.
Yeah, 6 does get cracked though, has to back away. But Bowser will be able to cover his position from here with a decent R9 spray down, even giving away light ammo that he doesn't have. He's got 12 left in the bank. As we're now on the board with Liquid taking a fight over at the southwest side of Thermal Station now. Enemy Gibraltar Dome has already gone down, and they want to get aggressive on this, but Nocturnal is the one who goes down. It's going to be double O. Takes that. But it looks like a third party might also be involved here as Flanker goes over to the top, gets a decent spray. Now he's going to transfer on over, and they will be able to clean that up. But it's the third party they have to worry about. Can they recover Nocturnal?
We'll see. I mean, it's their Wraith, so it's going to be hard to get that down. But if anyone could do it, it's going to be Liquid. You can see the armors that they have. You can see the res already happening. One player down for 3. That's great kill points. It's also the first squad to get wiped. So it's a really nice job by Liquid. And if they can recover fast enough, they're going to also get these kills for free too, because I feel like this is a pretty secluded fight. And that's why they took that. So this team is really late rotating. They may be even questioning right now if they want to push Liquid. It depends on how confident they are and the caliber of players they are. I personally want to push these guys. You can see that they have great armors right now. So that's a no-go, and Liquid's most likely going to get those kills and just start playing Edge from now on.
Well, Jimmy Turtle's team somehow got pushed in that building. We were talking about how good it can be if you're holding it with the caustic barrels, but now a lot of action actually taking place in the north side of the ring currently, as there seems to be about 3 teams in the area. As we're on board with Tempo, Blight, and Sir Lifts-A-Lot. And yeah, it looks like there's a solo. That's going to be the last one in Jimmy Turtle's team, I believe.
Yeah, that's unfortunate for these guys. And again, everywhere that you look, there's just constantly people trying to rotate over towards Mirage. So that's why a lot of these Pathfinder teams are just sitting on the edge. You can see this guy's completely screwed out as another player is going to be charging up there. So he's not going to last very long, but actually is doing a much better job than I thought. Now they're going to be forced to play this portal game. He may even take the portal back and just play with it a little bit.
Oh, 48 for Flash. Yeah. And they're absolutely free to allow to be able to do this, as right now he's trying his best in this very dangerous game of hide and seek currently. You hear him healing up top, and so that's why Light is going to go ahead and climb up.
What a beast. Whoever this is just a beast. We're going to find out really soon. His Q's going to be down. Should be free
Oh,
for the first time. Oh, the Q's back. This guy's unstoppable. Probably doesn't even have a gold helmet. Just the best Wraith player in the game.
oh my
I hope he
God.
turns around and sticks him.
This game of tag, that'd be fantastic. But he cracks him with the 56, and Stu will be finished off. Jimmy's Turtles team going down. We also saw that it looked like they were able to recover the banner on Timmy's squad there. I believe it was Wicked who went down, but now on board with Lion, Cocoa Puffs, and Noct as they're taking so much damage here. It's going to be Crummy and Rocky Nishu along with Matt Pickett coming in, 2 knocks, and they will be able to finish it off. 17 squads remaining here in the second ring.
2 really good teams going against each other, and another really good team out of the lobby right there. So interesting that this fight is taking place so early. There's a lot of action going on. Again, so many teams realizing that it's a Mirage Circle. They're all rotating from all different sides. And probably the best team, again, in the same position is just Amu, Blitzen, and Vayne just chilling on top of Mirage, just relaxing, watching exactly what's going on, probably bullying all these teams into one another.
Complexity, interestingly enough, having that position on the choke point when they want to. If they see this trades, they should be going in on this as 303's Fury finds that first pick onto Matt Pickett. You see the Wraith Q coming out as well. She should not be long for this world as he comes in, and it's a 2-for-1 from Oi Senpai. Without any trades there, do Complexity push this? It looks like they will not.
Wow, Complexity not pushing that as they see there's multiple boxes behind there, so maybe they're just going to let those guys get the loot, fall back. Also, they could just be worried about they're getting third party right after that. Still 16 squads. No one wants to go out with 0 points this early without any kill points. It completely just ruins the vibe and makes it that much harder to go on. So maybe Complexity not feeling as confident as they normally do because all of these Watson fences set up and the fact that there's been so much action this early. This game's been fairly fast-paced. I mean, these circles are fairly ruthless, but there's a lot of teams dying.
Yeah, typically the body count is this low at the end of the third ring. And so very fast, which is what we've been seeing in the weekly so far, as another squad is going down, and now we are in the placement points territory.
Yeah, so teams are going to probably tighten up even more here at this point. Now that there's 15 teams left, everyone's secured at least 1 point, which is definitely not the goal for this game, but it's just nice not to get goosed. You can see exactly what Complexity's idea is. They don't want a third party because they don't want to lose their spot. They're extremely comfortable sitting here. They're in a great spot wherever this is going to rotate. Sometimes it rotates down. Sometimes it rotates directly below the ship. Sometimes it goes right into the choke. But again, more teams on the edge just getting the business. This time it's going to be Wig. Yeah, Wig going in with 6 Bowser right here. They already have a lot of damage, so they're just going to continue to push. Might as well. They have a guy like just trapped behind this rock. Easy 3 versus 1 right there. So that's the thing about these guys. Is they're so clean in the way that they team fight, and they're just always shoulder to shoulder. It's just perfect the way that they're able to synergize.
Was that a collateral there? As we saw Nicewig and Bowser going out super low, and they gave up the high ground early on, chasing after that kill. And so now they're the ones that are in trouble, as Bowser will get finished off. 6 trying to heal up for now. It's kind of troubling to see that he's actually healing for whites. Does he not have a battery on him? Swervesy will get rezzed and brought back into this with the help of that gold backpack.
Yeah, that's not something that you're expecting. Chasing that far and then just getting collapsed on from behind, there's really no recovery right there without a Gibraltar. You can see Nicewig did a great job getting out, but you just have to cut ties with Bowser and just get out of there. And whoever that is, looting extremely fast, not on controller, that's for sure, as he was just picking that bag apart. But CLG in a great spot right here. You have Amu, Vayne, and Blitzen. They're in a great spot. You have Complexity in a great spot. So there's a lot of teams that are set up right now that are just complete powerhouses. I would expect these guys to start gatekeeping the rest of the people that are going to start to come in towards the circle. You see that these guys are just coexisting here and letting this happen because they're going to almost work together until they just absolutely turn on each other at one point.
Yeah, Blitzen already has that 1 kill as Muffin's taking a lot of damage from that trap. As you got to imagine it was from up top. Yeah, the Onmu, Noble, and Blitzen who are still controlling it now. Onmu gets tagged twice to the dome. But again, they have such a great position here. They have barrels all over every single point of entry onto the ship now. They don't really have to worry. They will go ahead and throw down that Watson generator a little bit early on. We'll see if he's got Ultimate Excel, but honestly, at this point in the game, they are not going to need it. They should be able to build it up naturally.
If anyone should be poking, it should be Blitzen. You don't want to try to scout someone right here. Wingman is perfect. The reason the Wingman's so much better than, say, like the R301 or some of these automatic guns, that's why the R9 is good too, is you strafe a little bit faster. Some guns just keep you locked up. Wingman, easy poke and shoot. Perfect gun for that situation. I'll move over challenging just a little bit, but here comes a fight right outside, right where the zone's going to collapse on, and there's so many teams that are going to be able to follow up on this.
Dude, whoever's got this Kraber right now has been absolutely cracked and destroying people left and right. And it's Ronnie. Ronnie is the one, I believe, that might have just like double shot and collided. I think it was Wig and Six earlier on, just before Bowser went down. So now on board with 303 as they're the team to the south here, finding a fight. They're going to be able to take out that Watson Jenny, get the knock. Wicked goes down. They were able to bring him back in, but it's just all up to Synced, and he should be going down. There we go. Left me a little bit worried there, but 303 finished them off. So Timmy and the squad will be finishing in 12th place in game number 1, though. Gibraltar Res here for Pride and Naughty, as Vayne was able to get a knock with that arc, but they're not going to be able to follow it up. There are just too many teams in the area now. Take a look at that pull from the ring. They will be able to continue to hold this position on top.
Yeah, we've seen this zone numerous times. This ends right where Complexity was holding, right down below the rope. So if you're holding on top of the mountain, it's like a King of the Mountain type of game. And right now, the team with the high ground is obviously Amu, Vayne, and Blitzen, but all these other teams, even Liquid, still hasn't made their way over towards the circle. They're still playing the edge, still working their way, and now they're finally finding a fight at a 3v3 that they have to take.
Yeah, I think a lot of teams learn the value of like playing edge in a lot of these tournaments, especially in the first game where you want to try and rack up as many kills as possible, get a really good start to the tournament. It is just a 4-game set, but Nocturnal and Casper taking so much damage. Casper, I'm not sure, was that an armor swap that he was able to find to be able to survive for now? Flanker even cracked, but now it's going to be Onmu who finishes him off. And it looks like that's going to be 2 KP going over for them unless they can recover.
This is finally what Amu, Vayne, and Blitzen have been waiting for this entire time, for people to start rotating in, start to expose themselves. Again, that was a fight that we were talking about that they had to take. And just look at this triple take, completely ripping. One more shot, that player is absolutely dead. Probably skedaddling with about 5 HP right there. Energy still holding underneath the ship throughout all this time too. So all the teams now making their move. This is that death zone, zone 4, round 4 closing in. Expect a lot of teams to go out here.
I want to know how much ammo they have, because they've been shooting at that for like the last 2 or 3 minutes into that car now. 2 Gibraltar Domes going down now, and so as soon as this comes out, the push comes out. But there we go, the Mastiff! It's going to be Phony Hit that actually connects, taking Rocker down. Bane might be able to save NRG here, and they do. 303 will be finished off. NRG, will they be able to recover here, as we're on board with Complexity's Monsoon? And it is just Nobles, Blitzen, Onmu, and Vayne, who are just the bane of everybody in this lobby right now.
Yeah, they're putting so much damage down, so many teams trapped around them. They can continue to milk this and just try to be the last team that goes over towards the top and rotates, but they have to deal with at least 3 or 4 teams. So I would say a team like CLG is in a great spot because they've been holding, but they just don't have that many kill points, excuse me. They're going to rack those up towards the end right here. It's all about who's going to win this final battle underneath the ship and on top of the ship. That's the last team to rotate.
All right, Muffins, what do you got? Oh, he got a Prowler in the face. Taking so much damage there. He does throw down that bubble, and he should have another one by the time the ring closes, so the timing on that isn't too bad. Ronnie, though, continuing to find kills here as we are on board with Complexity, holding it down. Frax, as he's trying his best with the eBay 8 right now, doesn't quite connect how he wants to, but with the reload, he does go for another peek. And now, the Shield Wars, there we go. He'll be able to finish off Muffins, and they get out of that building, NRG do. But it looks like Rocker was never able to get recovered. He doesn't have the gold bag, and so they need to recover quickly here. They've got 7 seconds before the ring starts closing.
Yeah, and Amu and friends are so worried about rotating, they don't realize that that's free kill points down below them. Very unfortunate, but Protectful, Sunny, and it looks like Rambo are completely out of position here as they're trying to rotate. This is, again, one of those zones where a lot of teams are going to die. You have a couple teams inside the building. Everybody else just rushing to get into the zone right now.
All right, ring closing on in. So many Gibraltar ultimates going down here, but we do have, of course, lots of Watsons in play right now, as it looks like Complexity were able to find a kill for themselves. But it's JetSetJamerson and crew are able to just guard this edge, and they have a nice pocket to work with, a lot of cover, even on their right side flank, as they're getting some decent information now. Nathan is the only one left alive here for NRG, as we're down to 6 squads left, and he is the only rat left in this lobby now. As again, CLG, we saw them hold this position early on. Now it's about making this rotation out in 1:10.
Yeah, CLG, as we were saying, in a very good spot. They're just going to chill inside this building. Madness has had his portal the entire time, so he's going to make a portal play last second, or they may try to do some sort of zip play, but a couple teams outside of their building, ratting underneath, on the top, at the doors. This is going to end out in the open. It's going to be all bloodbath. I'd also watch out for the caustic too. If I'm Amu at this point, still staying alive and being able to just creep in with the caustic gas, that's going to be completely deadly in this zone.
Woo. Barely surviving there. But yeah, Onmu, he's got that red Evo shield. They've got the high ground control as well. And so he's going to have 360 degrees choice on where he wants to throw down those barrels. And it's really going to come down to him to try and cut off a lot of these rotation paths from the teams. If he can try and get a barrel down into the doorways in time, that could be clutch for the team, especially because so many teams right now are congregated on the south side. I don't know exactly who's up to the north, but we did see the EU squad, the CIS squad to the north, outside Yama, and I believe they might have just recovered, as we're still down to 16 squads remaining. Remember, it's just Nathan who's the solo left in this game.
Yeah, they know they have to watch this door and the door below them, so they're going to try to caustic barrel probably both doors if possible. You have two teams playing outside the rock. So Amu's going to have to go in really late here with the gas. You have the zip line being put down by CLG. You have everybody charging in with Gibraltar Dome. Expect everyone to try to play this dome and avoid whatever damage is coming from the top.
Quick armor swap from Vayne there, as Complexity is going to clean up CLG. But now Vayne, with that massive, not quite connecting the way he wants. He does back away, and there we go. Pushes in, and now we're down to 2 squads. See who is left here as Sanya gets the knock onto Blitzen, and it looks like they will be able to finish off on Moo. And there we go. It is going to be our CIS representatives here playing in the NA Weekly that take first place, but with how many kills?
Yeah, I'm not sure. To me, it looked like it was Vayne and Amu, but it could have been, you could have been right. I'm not sure who took that one. But as we were saying, these guys were in a great position the entire time, right? They just played the top of it. They worked their way in. It ended up being the team that was on the very top of the mountain, and then a very healthy Amu, Vayne, and Blitzen at the very bottom. And it was just complete chaos down below. It was unfortunate for CLG that they stayed in one of the best spots in the game, and they couldn't find what they were looking for, which was kills. So they got some decent placement out of that, but they could have had some big kills if things were going their way. It's just the players were getting picked off outside of their buildings, and they couldn't get any good spots because they were getting zoned out by everybody.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I was reading it all completely wrong. So yeah, Blitzen, Onmu, and Vayne take the victory there. Sorry, guys. That was my fault. They end up with 12 kill points as well. So 24-point game number 1 for them. Very great start here in game number 1. Remember, this is a 4-game set, and so setting that initial game off is going to be great. And, you know, this is a squad that I think, you know, not as many people have been talking about. I think they do like deserve a lot more. They've been growing a lot and getting better and better every week that I see them.
Yeah, and I think they have a really solid composition, especially for things that are going to go their way in that instance, where they have a good zone prediction, even without a pathfinder. They just said, "Hey guys, look at this round 1 zone. We think it's going to end right here." They played it perfectly. They didn't overloot. They got to the ship. You saw how fast teams were rotating over there. NRG was ready to go. They threw a Gibraltar ult. They were ready to, you know, create some things. They had to portal out to where the spot they thought they could hold, which was a choke. Already a team coming from thermal station on the other side. Multiple teams holding down below where the third party is a Mirage. Teams on the other side. So many teams now trying to rotate in too. But there was, you know, a couple unfortunate, you know, situations for some really good teams. One would be Wig, Bowser, and 6 Yeet Squad. They had a really good third party 3v3 kind of action going on where they just got caught out in the open from a team they weren't expecting. So that was a team that could have steamrolled a little bit harder. Liquid didn't finish the fight there. And then you have a team like CLG that was in one of the best spots, but just couldn't get lucky with the kills coming towards them.
Yeah, and so talking about let's talk about the top five. So, coming in second were our CIS representatives, who ended up getting a 8 point game. Excuse me, 8 points in kill points. And yep, we actually just kind of went away from that map. So unfortunately, I can't see the scores anymore, but we'll have that updated for you guys very shortly. We're setting up game number 2 right now, but we do have to talk about that, right? We know that. There we go. They brought it back up for us. Complexity ended up getting 6 kill points there and finishing off third. And like you mentioned, CLG really struggling as they ended up in fourth place. And so they do get those placement points, but they don't back it up with any kill points at all.
I don't think they were struggling. I think they just got unlucky, is what I was saying. Like they had the perfect spot. They were, unfortunately just not able to get the kills coming towards them because you have a team like Amu and Blitzen just sitting up top, just picking everything off with great triple take shots. And then all the fights just didn't really come towards their building. And it seemed like they were just the one team that was starting to get zoned out and focused. So if a team like Liquid rotated towards them and they got those kills, that would have been huge for them. So still getting fourth isn't that bad, but we're talking about getting around 15 points. That's what you're looking for. I think it was like 24 and 17 around that time was first and second. So still anyone's game, but it was a really nice prediction just overall from the team that won. Getting in a great spot, and that wasn't easy with so many teams that were around them. There was at least 10 teams that were in the vicinity of Mirage. They just kept it cool on top of the ship and then rotated down last minute.
Yeah. So again, we're still just waiting it out for game number 1. So we're talking about very, very strong drop points, and not having Rogue in the lobby kind of affords you that. And so I'm surprised that they're one of the teams that were able to pick up on that really quickly. We know that a lot of teams do need to practice variable, but I feel like a lot of teams just don't even practice Mirage because how often in a tournament are you going to be able to get that drop?
Yeah, it's the best spot or one of the best spots in my opinion. If you're playing a Pathfinder, you're going to be able to hit that beacon, 90% of the time. I feel like you have so much area to loot, but you also have a very condensed area to loot that gives you some of the best loot on the map in a very quick manner. So I think that it's probably, top 3 spots to land. It's my personal favorite spot to land. And it's also a great spot to fight, especially if you're going to have a caustic like Amu is playing. If anyone's going to contest you, you're going to feel pretty good about just holding your side. Ideally, you want to land on the top side where the res beacon is, and you could decide to start the party or not. Hold that side, and the team that's down below is kind of screwed. So it's going to be interesting to see if they get contested or not because we know how good the loot is there. But everyone usually kind of keeps their own spot until maybe game 4. That's when things start to get interesting.
Again, though, even though we're talking about game number 4, where things are getting interesting, we have to talk about how the early game has kind of changed for our weeklies, where it's a lot more aggressive. We're seeing maybe a quarter of the lobby generally dying by the end of the second ring, when typically, like I keep saying, that was the pace for the end of the third ring. And so, how are teams adjusting to that right now in terms of the aggression and finding the fights on the edges?
I think that they're just fighting back, right? I mean, if one team's fighting you and charging you, you're going to have to defend yourself. And that's what people are doing right now. It's like, all right, well, if you're going to charge me, and I think what you see is maybe some teams, their philosophy is to get early kill points or take a secluded fight or, hey, look we don't like how that guy's dive trail looks. It looked like he may be trying to fool us with like some diamond stuff. Let's go land on this guy or a platinum player or whatever it is. You never know what people are thinking in terms of what they want to do to take an early fight. But it's some people's style to do it. Some people it's not, right? You could see Blitzen, Amu, and Vayne, they weren't worried about it. The Formal Nova squad, they weren't worried about it. They were just posted up, chilling, letting things happen. Same thing with CLG. I would say Rogue's a team that plays very similar, even though like you said, they're not in our lobby right now. So, some people have their play style. Some people like to keep it slow. I think one of the better teams in terms of mixing it up and doing, whatever is coming towards them would be Six, Bowser, and Wig on the Yeet squad. I think they have a really good flow for how they want to play it. It's just sometimes they, take a team fight and it doesn't work out, or a third party will come and they end up just, talking about it and learning from it, just like a lot of the other teams.
Yeah, that's the squad that I do like to talk about, just because there's so much talent on that squad, and I think they've been growing a lot. But it's just the kind of consistency, right? I think when they want to take a fight, they can take a fight really well, but the consistency in being able to win out the fights hasn't quite been there for them. So let's go ahead and take a look at the leaderboard after game number 1. And so Vayne, Onmu, and Blitzen taking 24 points there, and just like you said, The CIS representatives, I don't know what kind of ping they're playing on, but congratulations to them. They're able to take second place there with a number of kills, getting 17 points for them, and Complexity end up with 13. And so pretty decent spread and kind of what we expect when we have, a decent spread in kills between a lot of the top teams right now. As there we go at the bottom, NRG and CLG in 7th and 8th place respectively. So we'll see if they can bounce back, especially for CLG's first tournament showing.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And Complexity had a pretty solid game there. So this is kind of what happens with Complexity. They seem to be fairly consistent in just sticking inside the top 3, and they strike with some big games. So if they get going here in game number 2, if they get rolling, if they get a very good power position, that's definitely a team to watch out. And some of the other things that I'm looking out for is where's this zone going to pull, because it's been kind of weird. A lot of the tournaments lately, you see the zone over towards Mirage, and then it pulls over there again too for some reason in game number 2 or 3. So I really want to see if I have this superstition or not on what's going on with the zones, because I feel like it tends to happen more often than not.
No, I agree with you. From the number of scrims and tournaments that I've watched over the years, generally, for whatever reason, Mirage ends up getting like 2 pulls in a 4, 5, or 6 game set. And so we'll see if we have that ring coming out again in some sort of fashion. Right now, though, as we are setting up for game number 2, we are in with the VOB boys, Vayne, Onmu, and Blitzen. And so we'll see. The hotspot is going to be over at Refinery. We'll see if anyone possibly contests in that general region. But there's the ping going on out. It is going to be Mirage Voyage free for the boys once again.
Yeah, taking a look at where everyone else is landing, you can see not contention on any type of side on the south side. So Dome, Lava City, Sorting, all free, Tree free. You can see the team at Thermal. They're going to have a Pathfinder, so they're going to split up, hit that early beacon. Mirage is extremely free. You have all of the buildings over towards Mirage. All of the third-party areas are free. And then you seem to have a couple of people over towards that Lava Fissure drill site side. So everyone's spread out fairly easy, but now you have action over towards Harvester.
Wow. And it's already over. Protectful Noct and Sunny are going to be able to win that one out. And so another early exit for No Cocoa Puff's team here. And I don't know why we see so much contention, a lot of fighting generally taking place at Harvester of all places.
Harvester's a weird spot. It's really interesting to see, again, people fighting over there because there is no beacon to get the res on. So it's always scary to take a fight over there, because then you have to rotate towards the side where someone else has already been. And if they decide that they want to come and charge you after you get the res, it kind of stinks. So fortunately for Protectful's team, they win that fight. Great job by them. But also none of them got downed and finished. So a little missed opportunity there by Noko, Lion, and Noct, which is another very solid team going out early for the second time in a row.
Ooh, so this time around, we got a thermal station pull coming out. This one's interesting because it can continue to pull over to that very southwestern beacon building that Liquid have pinged already. But I can't imagine that it's going to actually end there. I think if you anything, you kind of want to hold on this position that they're holding right now, this chokehold here, choke point right there.
Yeah, this choke's going to be good, but the thing is about thermal is if you can get really far back or get donut or whatever it is, that's going to be really good for you. And this is really early rotations. 130, this is absolutely insane. A team like this is not expecting this, and this guy could just be by himself, which it seems like he is. He has purple armor. It's just a Gibraltar, so very unfortunate for Rakanishu coughing up a purple armor to Team Liquid.
Wow, that's a quick armor swap for him as well, as now they're going to go ahead and back away, try to find the rest of the squad. Port even being used to get them out of the middle of the open there. But it looks like he might have just been by himself, split off from the rest of his team. So nice timing play, like you mentioned. Early rotations coming out from Liquid that nets them some great armor and a kill point.
Just insanely quick, though. Ridiculous rotation coming in from Liquid. 130 is when you typically leave your POI. But we have a big fight happening over here. Madness going up against, I believe that's going to be Swervy and his squad. It's a very nice kill with the R9 and the EVA 8 and the fast armor swap. So it's up to him to try to win this right now. Right now, you have Vaxon over there with the help from the bottom floor, too.
Oh, he sees one climbing up. Hits for white armor, and he's going to love to see that now as he pushes with the EVA 8. He knows that this Bloodhound is super low right now. but he's just going to play this a little bit passively. He's got the HP advantage to work with. Now he's got the pings coming out from the squad. Wait out a few more seconds before he tries to make a push here because the information is there for the Bloodhound, but instead he's going to go ahead and secure possibly this kill point. But, you know, CLG, no strangers to taking a lot of fights over here at Skyhook. It happens to them so frequently.
Love this little picture-in-picture that we going on. It's the perfect battle to be able to get this for Madness. You have everything that you need. You have the armor, you have the advantage. Your teammates are just cheering you on because they're still alive. This guy's had all of his teammates thirsted, so he's probably not nearly as confident. And that's the little mind games that you play when people are down. And that's what's given Madness this huge advantage right now. This player's just going to try to bail as fast as possible, try to get the kill points as we were saying, and Madness really has all the advantages.
That's also one of the difficulties, right? When you're playing Bloodhound, we saw right there, when you pop that Beast of the Hunt, you don't know what you're hitting, so you don't know what kind of color knock shield you have to get through, and he's just desperately trying to get that. But hey, we're back over at Thermal Station right now, as it looks like NRG in a fight with Rambo Squad fighting over the platform here, which could be one of the possible endings for this circle.
And just notice how he hits the finisher so he can't go back through the portal. That's something that a lot of other players don't really do or think about. The bubble was down. That's, you know, maybe a lot of Predators maybe watching this and realize that, but a lot of lower tier players don't recognize that that's something that you need to do. Don't let them go through the portal, hit the finisher on that player, and just secure yourself the kill. These kills and points are so important, and you don't want that guy going back through and risking having to go back through after him and trying to secure that.
NRG controlling the choke that we were talking about just a little bit earlier on. Golden Spitfire for Nathan, along with that light ammo weapon. On board with Crummy, though, as they've gotten that deep pocket that you were talking about. But this is kind of the thing about not running a Pathfinder. You see that circle, and so many times it's pulled down there, but we know that it's not. And so the deep pocket doesn't quite work out for them, and that's why they basically got control of that area for free. As we swap on over to Muffins, Pride, and Naughty, they might be running into NRG very shortly, might have to take a detour through the train tunnel.
You always love just running by these bins and finding a purple light mag for your R9. That's great, but you got to be careful. People sitting inside the train, not sitting inside the train, but close to it, is going to be the team that got second in the previous game and also secured themselves 17 points. So really liking this Prowler Select Fire. You see a lot of people using this over the last couple months, multiple armor swaps right here. So they're going to play this safe, but this isn't the best spot to be. This is what you were talking about in terms of playing the high ground above them would be a little bit more ideal, but maybe they know something I don't, and they're very comfortable holding this spot.
Yeah, we'll see how many teams actually end up making that wide rotation down to the south to try and avoid a lot of the choke points to the north. But it should be fairly silent for them as we take a look. Yeah, so that's NRG above them. There's a team in Tree proper. I think they're just going to try and control that beacon to their west, and then another team to the northeast side of Tree. So right now, I think one thing to look at is actually whomever's over at the north. That might be CLG.
Yeah, two
we'll
north
be getting
teams
to a fight
rotating.
soon.
Yeah, and then Complexity always playing aggressive, so you got to watch out for whatever these guys are doing because they're starting to make their move right now. And they want to pick this building, so they may be predicting that it's going to go even back further in Thermal, but Monsoon taking a lot of damage. Finally, the bubble comes down. That's what a good Gibraltar does, kind of waits to the last second because you want that bubble to have as much healing as possible for you. And it should be enough to get the medkit off as well. So you see the defensive bombardment coming in for the AoE just to kind of push these guys back into the building. So Complexity just going to call out, reset. Also, the portal comes down just to secure the rotation. And resources used, not what you were really looking for Complexity, but at least you're all alive.
They do make it down to the low ground here. And definitely just being able to survive throughout that because things have slowed down just a little bit. We're at 17 squads and 49 players here. And so still about the same pace that we had for game number one, but we saw it slow down just here for now, as I can't expect too many fights to currently be taking place, as there are so many buildings and so many positions to currently play in within this ring.
Yeah, and Complexity seems to be trying to fish for which team they want to go for. That's what they're kind of pinging and deciding which teams are going to third party them, what's going to go on if they take a fight. Then you have a team like Liquid who's been kind of gatekeeping this whole area outside Thermal ever since they got that pick. So this is going to end more where you saw that train station area right above and probably right down in front of the fences if I had to guess. But a lot of those teams were kind of predicting something in thermal that didn't necessarily happen. So having a fight over towards the back of tree is there's tons of teams just trying to get into anywhere safe right now because this zone is going to be brutal.
Oh, nice nade connects, but Sleepy Panda does have to back away. Will use the port of his opponents, but it's 303. Able to get that knock with the defensive bombardment onto Sleepy Panda AMG. Now down one man. It might be getting third party here. They do have to be careful as Sleepy Panda, excuse me, will be finished off as they're holding the backside of this building. Yeah, and so it is 3 teams involved in this fight currently. As I don't even know if they're going to be able to recover this banner at all, but as they push the building, NRG are there. Rocker to get the knock on to double O. Sorry, watching a little bit too much Minecraft. Smooth U comes in, getting the knock on to Fury. So a lot of these fights not being as clean as you would generally want, especially here in the early game. But a massive coming out from Rocker. AMG will be knocked out.
Energy just cleaning everything up towards the back here. R301 Massive with a purple bolt is nasty. You still have these guys in the back. That's where the pings are going down. These guys are weak too, but you don't have your teammates really following up on that one right there. As portals and rotations coming in everywhere on this side. Just so many teams collapsing because this is the most action that we were talking about, Jamerson, where this map's been fairly slow. There were 17 teams a couple of seconds ago, and now all hell breaking loose in the back of tree.
Yeah, 303 picking up a lot of kills here now. As they should have, it should be a completely isolated fight. We don't know if NRG will try to get aggressive onto this one currently, but it looks like there is a ping. So another team might actually be in the area here, as you're continually hearing that drone come out.
Yeah, and the thing is they're pinging that just in case they want to go back over there because they see it's safe and they have the Watson. So maybe that's just their fallback point where everyone's going to meet. In the meantime, Fury's going to play aggressive on the Wraith and kind of scout exactly what's going on, where energy is going to be at. Is there anybody else in the vicinity? And then once this zone closes, they're probably going to start figuring out exactly how they want to rotate in. But it's not going to be easy. They're going to get gate capped on every single level. Every single time that there's going to be a zone closing, they're going to have to take one fight which way or another.
Yeah, that crypto buff from, I don't even remember how long ago it was when they increased the HP on his drone. You used to be able to just like clear it with 1 pellet from an even 8. And it's such a nuisance now as the res comes out.
Yeah, the drone is a nuisance, but remember when it used to slow your teammates? That was the worst.
Oh,
Ever since
yeah.
they changed that, that was huge for crypto. So it's kind of like when Caustic doesn't get slowed by the gas. But here goes NRG just coming in. You have 303 going up against Oso rated. So fights happening all over the place. Again, so much action happening. Everybody trying to get over towards where they think this is going to finish, which is going to be more on the thermal side. But you have to get through tree. You have to get through either harvester or whatever it is that you're going to come through to get to this point. It's not going to be easy for these guys.
I like that soft commit coming out from NRG as well, right? They go in, they get a knock, they kind of poke around, and they leave once again. They don't have to overcommit. They've got a really strong power position holding that high ground. They don't want it to get yoinked out from underneath them. And so they're doing a really good job of just poking and prodding and picking up kills left every now and then. As NRG, under just a little bit of pressure here, as Rocker was trying to get some information to where the 303 boys are, but it's complexity squad running into Team Liquid as Bowser will finish off Reptar.
Yeah, so that means Yeet Squad in the vicinity. Not sure exactly where they are, but that's super unfortunate to get that pick right there. Reptar going down, obviously on Bloodhound, doesn't have much of an escape, if any, unless he wants to just pop his ult. See what Monsu is going to be able to do. Maybe some sort of portal res, maybe try to get him back to his loot. If anyone can do it, Complexity can, but unfortunate loss right there, really hindering the just overall I would say flow of the game, and not only that, the rotation is going to be absolutely screwed now because they have to figure out exactly what they're going to do about Reptar.
303 pinging to the north there. If we could take a look at the map real quickly to see, there is a squad still up there. And so that's going to be interesting. I believe Sadyama's team, our CIS representatives, are still holding the train tracks just below as well. So there's going to be a lot of fighting here. There's a lot of potential for NRG to pick up so many kill points from the position that they're holding.
Yeah, Energy's in a great spot, and Rocker's doing a great job just in general. He's been the one that's pushed away from his team, as he should with the Wraith. And if he's able to just hit his Q at the right time, it's going to be fantastic for him. And you don't really expect this many teams to rotate from behind this late into the game. A lot of teams have already picked and choose which way they want to go. To be able to bully energy out of here is going to be extremely difficult. They're going to have to just absolutely misplay this fight if you're energy, but I don't see it happening. It's going to come down to having that Watson gen down. You already have the bubble too, so this is not really the type of team that you want to go and charge.
They've got excellent tools to work with as well. And so we're seeing a lot of people swap off from the R99 in favor of the R301, play a little bit more of the mid-range, long-range poke and ability to pick up those kill points. And so they see him, spot him out. If we could get out of that menu, thank you so much, as 303 are trying to make their push now. They do have to back away as that Gibraltar ultimate does go down. And they're going to be safe here, so they don't have to hard commit onto this, but NRG have a beat on them, and they just need to make sure that, of course, their back is clear before we figure out what the next ring is.
Exactly. Make sure their back is clear, because that's the only way they're going to lose this fight. They have superior positioning, they have superior armors, they have these guys on the ropes, and you also have a nice gen inside there that's going to stop that arc star, but it's going to go away soon and you still have multiple nades. So they're going to be stuck in there. Expect a portal play to happen any second. They're going to have to think about rotating beneath them, because they can't just charge up this hill.
Ooh, white armor. Or was that just the arm shield?
That was the arm shield.
Yeah, that was the arm shield. Oh, on the scoreboard, we do see that we have a lot of trades going on over here at the south side of the ring, as Liquid have been holed up here since the beginning of the game. They were able to recover Nocturnal's beacon. They can get the res, and it'll be up to Flanker really keeping an eagle eye on teams and making sure he's going to be able to recover all of his equipment.
Yeah, sitting up there on the top of the map as high as possible with the charge rifle not getting contested. Life's supposed to be nice for Team Liquid to be able to get that res as well. So great job by them just getting back on the map here. But here comes the fight underneath the bridge as well. So many teams are just forced to go outside this area because of the fact that NRG is doing such a great job of adding pressure.
Yeah, they don't really have any other option but to push this. It's going to be Naughty and Pride coming in, as that squad does get finished off. That's going to be 3 kill points now, as NRG are taking their fight up against 303. Nathan is the first one to go down, but Rocker and Frex are still alive. They are trading away. They will be able to finish this off. And the timing on this, even a nade coming out from Rocker there just to cover the south side, that's the east side. That's the only position that a team can come from. And so they should have time to recover. And now we're talking about picking up those kill points. They'll be able to gatekeep another team coming in from the east.
Yeah, and they don't realize that the fight below them was a team that's also got trades going on, and that's fairly weak. But all that matters is not losing a player and getting thirsted right there if you're energy, on top of winning the fight. But they were able to win it so cleanly that only one player gets knocked. You don't have to do a double res. You could watch your back from the third party. So great job by energy. They're having a great game so far.
So as this ring pulls closer and closer towards that platform to the south, we do have Blight and Tempo left as a duo here. Tempo cracked and forced into that queue as he runs right into his teammate. He does have that Watson shield to work with, but he's got also the cover of that bin to help him out. On board with Stu, Jimmy Turtle, and Grim. Will they be able to make it to the late game, playing on the north side of the circle? It's the team on top of the tower there, giving them just a little bit of issue, but they're going to be forced out of that position as well. But now getting flanked, they have to be careful. There's so many fights going on around them, as Stu gets a decent shot with that master. Remember, this is a 2v3. He's got the crack, will be able to get the knock, and they do finish him off.
Stu going big with the master right there. I'm not sure if he has the caustic ult or if he's going to throw down some barrels, but you can see a knock going in. You're going for the res, maybe because he has gold bag, and also because caustic's the AoE player, but also action happening on the edge here. This zone's moving in about 10-15 seconds, so or in a minute and 10 seconds, excuse me. So everyone's going to just try to clear out their backs and then just start to push in, and this is the time where, again, you have to just make sure that you're controlling your area.
Aggro bubble from NRG is now getting punished here as Muffins comes in for the third party. And that was one of those squads that you had to be careful for. Like we said, gatekeeping the southeast side, but it looks like they might have been able to get possibly through the train tunnel to gain that position. And so NRG, they were holding such a strong position for the majority of the game, but got punished there. Real quick third party coming in. Very great capitalization of that position.
Yeah, so you have Liquid in a great spot. We haven't seen what VOB's been doing, which is our team in first place. They did lose Vayne early, and they're still alive with 6 squads left, so they're milking a couple placement points as well. So not too bad for them. But it's a really great spot now for Liquid. This is why they took this early. They've been holding us down. They predicted this fantastically. I thought this was going to move more on the north side. I was wrong. They definitely had this one down pat. So fantastic prediction by them. They're in a great spot. They even pinged down the boxes that they want to hold 4 seconds when this is moving. They cannot lose this if you're Liquid.
Yeah, Knock again, just setting up a beautiful angle here to get on top of the team, but oh no!
Oh,
Muffins' team gonna come in and get that knock. If they don't push this, I'd be surprised. There they go, coming down the hill now. Aggro bubble up front, as they're not gonna be able to get that knock, excuse me, the thirst onto Knock quite yet. It's gonna be the knock onto Casper. It's just Flanker left by himself. They won't be able to finish that off. It's actually Ronnie coming in. As are they in this lower position? It looks like Complexity might be safe there, basically in the lava, as Ronnie goes ahead and pushes up top, but he's not able to connect with that EVA 8. It's all up to Sadyama here with 5 squads remaining. Connects with an 84, but now he's back down onto the low ground. Does have his Q to work with, but he's not going to use it quite yet. He allows the cell to go off. It's another big hit, and there we go. They're going to finish off. It looks like D-Squad going down. But will any team push them here? And they do, as he goes down to the low ground. Does have an armor swap? No, he does not. But another team is going to survive and actually keep him alive for now. But he might actually fall on to... There are 2 squads down here.
yeah, this is what we were talking about. We haven't seen these guys all game. Vayne died early. This is VOB, the team in first place. This is not why they're in first. They're not this big of campers typically, but if I've seen anything in my life, that's an Amu special, okay? Amu's like, guys, down here, look at this spot. They've probably been there for the last 15 minutes.
So is it just 3 duos left now? I believe it is. But it's about holding this high ground here and making sure whomever's on the low just cannot get up. So we're seeing the Watson fences coming out from Naughty now to control the sides here. So he knows, he can smell them. He can smell the rats.
Yeah, you're running around up top, and it's like, what's going on here? I don't get it. The fact that I haven't seen anybody means there's multiple people hiding somewhere. So, again, just going to clear out the top, as you were saying. They're going to be in a great position. Hopefully, the teams below them start fighting, and they just make it easier. That's exactly what happens. Nade comes out, and then Vayne, or excuse me, it's going to be Blitzen, and then look at the Caustic just having a charge across. He's going to be taken down. And now they realize exactly where these rats are hiding.
Shiny versus Muffins, too. This is so tragic. The way that this is ending. There's so many things just that are just tragic about this ending. But there we go. The knock from Muffins onto his older brother, and it looks like they should be able to finish it off. And Team 9 will take the win there. Great game number 2. And we saw that they were actually not in the greatest of positions, right? They were on the very outskirts of the circle. NRG were in a position to gatekeep along with Sadyama's team. That were playing in the train tracks, but somehow they made it in. So they found a great timing for their rotation.
That was a hilarious ending to that one. I feel like the teams at the bottom kind of just were like, all right, guys, let's get this over with. We know the team's above us. Let's just fight it out for whoever's going to get second. And it was unfortunate for Team Liquid. I was talking about how great of a position they were in. It didn't seem like everyone was on board with pushing up and owning more real estate. I'm surprised they didn't check their backs. They got focused on the team that was below them. And I felt like they should have had more support over there. In terms of the area that was the tree side, they could have really just secured that whole area. So really unfortunate for Liquid. They put themselves in such a great spot, and they had such a one of the fastest rotations I've ever seen. I'm excited to see what they're going to be able to do after this.
Yeah, they had that squad that were right below them. You saw Nocturnal going for that aggro portal to try and get an angle on them, but then another squad just shows up. And I honestly, like you, I was very surprised by the number of teams that we had on the south side of the map, in particular with this ring. You know, generally you see if a ring pulls in one direction, the funnel for a lot of the teams is on the opposite side of that. But instead, a lot of teams kind of doing that same kind of rating, same kind of mentality, made that rotation to go for a wide rotation to the south there. But that was game number 2, which means we are halfway through today's games. So we're going to go ahead and take a short break, allow the rest of our teams to also take a short break. And when we get back, it'll be the second half of the North American Apex Legends Weekly, presented here by the Esports Arena. Don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back, guys. Thank you for waiting. We did have a little bit of a longer break, a little difficulty getting everyone back into the lobby, but we are now getting into the game for game number 3 of the day. That's 3 out of 4. I'm Jamerson, joined once again by Tom Tsquared Taylor, and we've been having some varied circles so far, and so we'll see if maybe this time around we'll have a northern ring or an eastern ring, but it's been southwest so far, so a lot of teams gotta imagine are kind of complaining about the RNG of that factor.
Yeah, a couple of things that I'm looking out for in game number 3 is where is NLK going to land? We saw them land Harvester. That's going to be Noko, Lion, and Noct. They land Harvester, die early, and get taken out for the second game in a row with getting 0 points. So I want to see what's going to happen with them. I want to see Amu ratting some more because the skills are just ridiculous. They're able to stay in first place after being able to pick up a decent amount of points from just sitting on the bottom of the map. But this is the team that is in second place right behind them and being rewarded with a gold armor. It's going to be PMS.
So they are currently in Frag West here, and it's kind of nice to be able to drop Frag West without the threat of having a team like TSM pretty close to them. But yeah, the gold armor, the purple armor for them, as well as right now, I think they had just I would say a very blessed kind of rotation, right? It was kind of scary when you knew that NRG was trying their best to gatekeep from that location. But take a look. We are going to have another varied ring this time around. It looks like it should be a frag circle, might pull up to Epicenter.
Yeah, this should be pretty close to PMS here. So this is fantastic for them. They have God tier loot. A Blue's going to be waiting for Muffins if he wants it. He's just going to continue his loot path. Like you said, not too many huge threats as typical. Like you said, TSM is a big pain, but this one's going to rotate over towards the east side and more possibly over towards No Name, where you could see a lot of pings going down. So the PMS squad's going to have to rotate out of west over towards east, hopefully not get gate kept by the east guys. And then they could be around, third or fourth over towards this rotation and with fantastic loot. So a really good start for these guys. We'll see what everyone else tends to do here, if they want to get into fragment early or if they just want to say there's so many buildings in there, we'll hold one of the chokes and then just try to gatekeep the teams out from getting in.
We saw a couple of pings also from the team that was dropped over at Sorting Factory, and so one of the pings was over at Norname, and then the other one was this caravan to the right we see on also rated R's view, which is a position that generally when TSM's in the lobby, that's what they're holding. But some nice loot coming out for them as they've got 2 purple armors and that blue to work with. Now it looks like they're eyeing possibly trying to gatekeep a team to their south, but no, there's someone even closer playing over here at No Name.
Yeah, No Name's where a lot of action's going to go down. There's a couple of buildings to split, but nobody wants to commit to setting up quite yet. They're just going to try to bully teams out. But Timmy rocking the Sentinel with the 4-8 and an R9, so pretty interesting combo as they have a ways to rotate. So they're going to take the balloon, try to get a little bit closer towards this zone, starting by going over towards Train.
Do they have a vault key is what I'm wondering at this point, as they don't have to rotate through this way, but if they do, that's kind of an indication that possibly they might. It's 303 that are getting shot at now. Oh no, the Arcstar did actually connect onto one, as it looks like they were able to make it into the building safely, but no, Fury's actually gone and down now, and it's just all over the place here as there we go. Oh, not enough with that Mastiff. The cleanup comes in, and already the first squad going down. Not quite yet, no, one survived. There we go. Old Freestyle will be able to survive that. And
nice job by Freestyle. I mean, coming in there, and sometimes that's what the Pathfinder does, where he's going to come swoop in and try to just clean everybody up, but it's his job to make sure that he gets those kills, that he gets the res instantly. And you can see the crypto drone coming out, but as the crypto drone comes out, they have a team that's flanking from behind. So that's going to be Yeet squad with 6, Wig, and Bowser. They try to reset really quickly, and then they're going to come back on the attack. So here comes the EMP. They're not able to get away from it. That's going to signal to put the gen down, and the drone's still sitting there. So that's the problem. They need to take that drone down, but not enough damage coming in with the drone, and 6 just coming in with a nasty Arcstar double kill.
Yeah, now it's just this last lone member. Tries to get the armor swap, but it's not going to be enough. Another third party coming in now. They do get some decent damage off, and so that might have actually thwarted it. They can back off and recover off of this and just stabilize as it's more now about watching their backs and also kind of taking inventory of everything they have in these loot boxes.
Yeah, free armor swap there for Bowser. They also know that they were the team that came in from the side of the tunnel and the geyser rotation. I believe these guys land Lava City, so they're going to know a majority of what's going on their back. They're probably going to put down some fences here very shortly if they're able to. That's going to cut off their rear end style, and they're just going to sit inside here and just wait until their rotation. But instead, Six makes an aggressive call. He's going to say, let's get into one of these free buildings and take these before someone else gatekeeps us.
Yeah, they've had to make this rotation so many times. They know how to do it. I think the amount of times that they have to rotate up here from Lava City, they just know and generally get in for free. And so they'll probably take a building like Dorito up there on board with PMS, though, as surprising rotation coming out from them. As we know that they were, of course, that squad that dropped over at Frag West, and they really haven't had to hoof it very far, but this is the farthest they've gotten in the last 2 minutes.
And you can see Team Liquid already postured up here, so they know exactly where this one's going to end. It could end on the res beacon over there. It can end right on the building that they've picked as well. And it could end fairly close to where these guys are holding, like we said, over towards that top left side. So I believe Yeet Squad was able to get into one of those buildings. As we were talking about, you don't want to be one of the teams that's last in this rotation, but that spot where they're at inside the tunnel isn't a bad spot. Someone else is going to say, hey, whatever, we'll take your leftovers, we'll take this spot, and we'll sit there and be safe to the next zone. But to me, it's surprising to see PMS set up underneath the bridge, and that's going to be the spot that they pick. But here goes Complexity doing what Complexity does, adding pressure, always with the charge rifle.
They got a nice high ground position, but they have to also contend with this other squad on the other side of the valley here, as using the head glitch is on board once again with Team Liquid. They'll be stuck here for a while, I imagine. So many teams already have worked their way on over. It's Complexity are looking for anything, as you know, we haven't really seen as much of them from the early game as we were expecting with Reptar playing this Bloodhound that we've seen in the past few weeks.
Yeah, they seem to have slowed down the aggression, but at the same time, they're always been consistent and getting decent placement points mixed with kill points. So it could be a slower style, more methodical style, but that could be Shiny also, like you said, numerous times. He makes a lot of play calls, and Complexity has been known for being so aggressive that sometimes it costs them. So as an experienced team, you do want to start playing these end zones a little bit more and, you know, taking these smart fights. And I think that's exactly what they're doing, is they're just making their way, just picking and choosing which fights they want to take, and also deciding, is it worth it, is it going to be secluded? So they decide that they want to go and possibly take this one with the scan, and then you see the Gibraltar all coming down as well. Monsoon, you can expect him to be the first one to push in, and then Shiny's going to sit back with the sniper rifle.
Yeah, they're closing that distance. If Shiny could get closer for them to aggro bubble onto, but he's currently in the back line just holding it for them. And so I don't know if they're going to commit hard onto this unless there's like a knock, unless there's a crack, as we have the Pathfinder just grappling away. That's not something you can really follow up on, though, as Monsoon. We'll just go ahead and check the low ground here. Reptar continually trying to gain information for his team. Another few seconds before he's got his next scan, but he's getting thwarted with the charge rifles coming in from long distance.
Yeah, charge rifle getting a taste of their own medicine, and that's when they just back off and say, we're going to reset here. It's going to cost us a couple of resources, some cells here and there, but they added some pressure and pushed that team off of them. So even though they're not able to get the kills, they at least secure more real estate around them, which is always really nice, because you don't want random people just coming up behind you as you're going and taking a fight or a rotation. So on board with more people that are over towards the edge, just going to be Rakanishu, Crummy, and Pickett. 3 very skilled players, great shots, but in a very tight pickle here as they find themselves very far from the zone.
They've been learning a lot competitively as well. And so we're seeing a lot of course, adjustments coming out. Matt Pickett no longer playing the Mirage. He's actually picking up the Watson for the squad. And also knowing when they shouldn't be taking a fight. And that's one of those. Trying to push in through that choke instead when they have the option to take a little bit of storm damage and just rotate off to the northeast side. Speaking of the northeast side, though, on the complete northeast of this map, we've got Aves, Rollers, and Swervesy, who might be running into Complexity soon, but they are checking that angle just behind them as well. And so this is the rotation we were talking about. There is a team in front of them, though. We'll see. Arcstar comes out. Rakanishu will just go ahead and swap on over to the left-hand side. Throws out his ultimate to try and get them off the roof. At the very least, we'll see if they can commit onto this fight.
Yeah, that's a good ult. They're going to come in, and you have the flank coming in from one of the players on the side, so he's going to queue out immediately. And now the Gibraltar bubble goes down. So we'll see what happens in terms of how they want to play this around the bubble. Are they going to let these guys get back towards the building? Are they going to continue the push? Because now the fact that that ult went off, that's going to call for other teams to third party. So it looks like both teams are going to try to respect each other and back off for that. But it's going to be Crummy taking a ton of damage.
Yeah, bubble early for Crummy here. He should have some time to get in. Gibraltar ultimate will catch him out. That's going to be AMG that was holed up, but this could just be a grief for both squads, as right now the ring is about to close. They do trade 1-for-1. It's come down to a 2v2, but the HP is super low as Rakanishu will go down next. It's all up to Matt Pickett here. Gonna try and pop this cell. We'll be able to get one off as he's trying to utilize this, but now he does have to just push this bubble. With that, Prowler comes in and he gets the knock. We'll be able to finish them off. And wow, he does secure them that, but the zone is closing in on them. They don't have a gold backpack, but this ring, I don't know if they're going to be able to survive it. It's such a long distance that they have to run, and Crummy will be able to get that syringe off just in time, but he needs to constantly just be chaining those to make it in.
Yeah, they're going to chain a ton of syringes, hope for the bodies that they just took out, but don't mess with Pickett when he has the Prowler. Prowler on Prowler action. I'll take Pickett 9 times out of 10, unless he's probably going against Snipe Down. So really good shots there in an instance where they already had the knock. Great 2 versus 3. Even if they don't get out of there, they still had a great team fight, and that just helps boost the confidence. But I think they will be able to syringe their way out of this one. It was only zone 2. If that was zone 3, they wouldn't have been able to get the syringe off. So I think they're going to be able to slow heal their way in, reset, and hopefully have some resources to continue the fight.
Now on board once again with Complexity, who are still maintaining this high ground hold. They've got a team in the compound below them. They also have a team other high ground to their southeast. They're just keeping an eye out for squads, as we'll see. Reptar should be coming in with that queue very shortly to gain information for them to see if they can take this fight and try to go for it up against the squad that's right below them.
Yeah, Complexity always finds themselves in this type of situation over towards Epicenter, always in the high ground, always holding these kind of res point areas, but they own so much real estate with the Bloodhound scan, with the aggression coming out, with Monsoon being able to rotate. But here is Protectful on the run over here. We saw Protectful was able to get a bunch of early kills at Harvester in the previous game, but now both of his teammates down, Jen going down as well, and not even close to be able to get this res off, so it's really unfortunate for him.
And there's still so many teams over here at No Name that this rotation is just going to be who gets that last hit on to him, or will he be able to make it in safely? He does still have about a minute to work with to try and figure out this rotation in, but I don't even know if he can make it to top 15. It's going to be so difficult at this point, as we're on board now with PMS. Once again, they're trying to make their entry, but it's CLG's POW that gets that first knock on to Muffins, but it's just too much with the Watson fences slowing them down now. It's Pride left by himself. He's got to go back into his caravan here, but another squad has just shown up, and the third party, will it be enough to maybe buy him some time as Vax tries to push forward? He's going to go down to Ronnie, and so you got to be careful. These fights at No Name are never really clean, and it's so difficult to try and take any.
Wow, and PMS getting the res off inside of the blue trailer there. Meanwhile, Vaxlon just crawling inside the bottom of the building, possibly going to be able to get res. Getting inside the corner, Powell going to be able to hit this one, but that was a scary turn of events for CLG. It went from them possibly getting 3 kill points and wiping the team in second place to now it's a reset, a 2 versus 2, down a man, and not looking good there if you're them, and that's just super unfortunate. They had that fight won.
Ooh, Matt Pickett just getting finished off along with Raki Nishu. And so we saw this squad. They were up to the north beforehand, but they didn't like the looks of things there. So they are going to hug the western side of the ring currently. We're down to 16 squads, 44 players remaining here as the round 3 starts closing. This is more of the pace that we're used to seeing out of competitive matches. So things have slowed down definitely. But a lot of that does come down to, of course, this ring pulling over for the majority of frag as Jimmy Turtle with the knock onto Swerve Z. It is going to be traded, though. It's a 1-for-1 right now. It's Aves now with that Bloodhound and the Massive trying to get this knock, but the bubble game is just way too strong right now. He goes for the peak, hits the 66 and the 83, and Jimmy Turtle's team will go down as Swerve Z does get rezzed by Rollers there. Aves really saving his squad as they back away off of this. Ooh, the caustic gas. Gonna stop him for now, but it looks like Complexity might be coming in to try and finish them off.
Yeah, the double scans coming in from both the Bloodhounds in the lobby, and I'm glad I'm not the only one whose Massive hits for 6 or 18 when it looks like good shots. So really nice job there by EC Living, but here's a good fight happening for Team Liquid on the outside, but they're already down a man. It's going to be Clean getting the knock onto, I believe, Casper very early, so not the fight that they were actually looking for, but a nice little portal being set down for Casper. Unfortunately, he gets thirsted immediately. Nocturnal having to get back into the building. So this one did pull much further than a lot of these teams were anticipating. This one goes more over towards the epicenter side instead of no name.
Yeah, we see those hills just to the north of them as Blitzen, Onmu, and Squad will be able to finish off a team. That's 3 more kill points going on over to them currently. 1 minute to try and find a rotation here. Luckily for them, of course, Nocturnal is still alive, so they'll have that port to work with. They should have it in time. It's going to be fairly close, but we'll see. Oh, they still have the res. It's hard to see with the portal on top of it. They do, so we'll see if Naughty and Pride allow them to get it for free.
Looks like they are going to get aggressive onto this because they heard the portal go down. Oh man, Pride taking so much damage. Naughty's going to have to cover him, but they're just going to retreat back to their blue little truck as they were before. 30 seconds to heal up. This is going to be tough. You have multiple teams all over the place, and it's going to be Liquid going in. Nocturnal with the nasty R301 shots. They're doing their best to get Casper back into the game with boxes on the floor. 18 seconds left. I feel like they're going to be able to do this. This is going to be huge for Liquid.
Oh, he's only at 50% for that port as another squad is coming up from behind. It's going to be Nathan. NRG have shown up here. Decent spray, but it's just not enough. They're never able to get him into full power. And so NRG will be able to clean up the 2 as it's just Flanker left by himself now. What are his options as the ring starts closing in? Does he have any heals to work with? He doesn't even want to pop it because NRG is going to know where he is, just right below them here. But it's up to NRG to find a way into this ring, checking their back as they go. Forcing that Wraith Q early on. This could be troublesome for NRG as it's just a rat race here to try and make it into the ring. And it's going to be Rocker to go down. Frex may be next as Nathan will go ahead and pop that bubble early on. They're trying to pick up whatever kill point they got. Backslon will go down. And there it is, NRG and CLG both out, but Rambo, Freestyle, and Clean made it into the safety of the exact center of the ring.
We had about 8 or 9 squads go out right there. That's going to be Liquid finally going down as well. A couple of rats, but full teams of 3 located as well. It's going to be Yeet Squad looking in a great position right now with triple purples here. And you also have Complexity. So look out for these 2 teams going to duke it out. And again, we talk about Complexity, how consistent they are in setting up and getting towards the end. They pick up a couple kills on the way, and now we find them in another end zone.
Yeah, this is an interesting, like you said, stylistic shift coming out from Complexity, where we got to see them in other tournaments just kind of run the lobby and have their way with the edge of the ring, but playing this kind of more position-oriented, late-game-oriented style with Shiny coming in, with Reptar going on to the Bloodhound. Their utilization of it is unorthodox, but it's been working out for them as Monsoon does find a solo rat there in tempo. So now we're just down to 3 squads left, and ooh, a lot of loot to work with.
Yeah, I believe we had 16, 14 squads. All of a sudden it just drops down to 3 in a matter of minutes. That's just how these games go. All out bloodbath happening over towards this epicenter hill. And then you have the high ground here for Reptar and Complexity. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do in terms of possibly dropping this charge rifle from the body that they just picked up and getting much more close range weapons because this circle is closing. So now you can see the final player. That's going to be Shiny coming in. He was looting the box. They're going to decide exactly what they want to do. Most likely going to be a portal play. Unfortunately, no defensive bombardment. The Gibby's going to take the gold bag. So now they're going to make their move, and they're going to have to do a bubble play here possibly with the portal as well.
Oh, and they're gonna have this squad right in front of them. You can see them pinging right above them now. So they do have to be careful in this situation. It's 3v3v3. They've been spotted out. The jig
Damn.
is up. Oh boy, gotta be careful.
Big Bloodhound scan. They start to portal immediately. This is going to screw over the timing for both the teams. And I'm not sure if it's Yeet Squad that is sitting just waiting for this third party to happen, but both these teams very close to each other. 3 squads left. Always want to be that last team to approach. But you see an Ultimate Cell being popped. You have the bubble that went down as well. And now it's going to be Complexity charging into all these fences.
Yeah, Complexity understand the situation that they're in as well. They just need to try to get as many kill points as possible. They just need to finish them off, but Yeet Squad is not going to allow them to do that cleanly. And so they were trying to secure at least second there. They knew the third party was going to come in. And now it's all up to LG Sanya to see if he can actually hold out here. But nope, Yeet Squad will be able to take that win. And we saw them early on making that rotation in, coming in from Lava City. This is one of those positions that they've practiced so many times, that they've run into in tournaments so many times. And this is one of the most successful we've seen coming out from them.
Yeah, just slow and methodical, not even showing. You could have thought it was a rat for all that we knew with the way that they were able to just approach that situation. All 3 just like lions waiting in the fields, just waiting to pounce on these guys as they start to go and fight it out for basically second place. And you knew Yeet Squad coming in full health was going to win that one. They're just too clean. They're just too well organized, and they're too individually skilled. So great job to them. Finally, someone coming through with a very, very slow and smart third party to clean the game. All the rest of them have been absolutely insane endings, more positional based, but it's just unfortunate that Complexity and I believe I'm not sure what their other team name, they were so close to each other that they had to do something right there. There's nothing else that you can do. But as you said, too seasoned for Yeet Squad. Too many times they've been in that position, and they played that perfectly.
Yeah, just wait it out, wait for that first knock, and then go in for the third party. And you saw the urgency also in Complexity, right? They knew exactly the situation that they were in. They had to make a play onto the squad that was on the low ground. There was really no option for them. And so trying to secure second place was kind of their best play and the only play left to them. So once again, congratulations, Yeet Squad. We've had 3 separate winners today, as we will be heading into game number 4 shortly here. But we do have, it looks like, Nice Wig, Bowser, and Six. They were able to secure 8 kill points along the way. So for as many squads as there were over at No Name, not as many kills as I was expecting, but still a decent showing, especially for taking that 12 points from first place. So 20 points will be going over to them. But we're gonna go ahead and take a short break. And when we get back, it'll be the conclusion, game number 4 of our North American Weekly. So don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be right back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the North American Weekly Apex Legends, brought to you by Esports Arena. Of course, I'm JetSetJamerson, joined once again by Tom Tsquared Taylor, and we are about to head into game number 4. We don't quite have the leaderboards updated yet, but it's still pretty close amongst the top 4 or 5 that we currently have right now. And so this final game can go to anyone.
Yeah, you could expect complexity to be towards the top. Yeet Squad's going to be towards the top. Our winners, right? Because of the fact that, well, complexity hasn't won a game yet, but they've been over towards the top. Again, consistency is the word with them, but look out for Vayne Amu Blitzen, VOB. Look out for PMS. CLG's been there. NRG's been kind of rolling. So one big game, and it could be anybody's because this is fairly close so far. Nobody's popped off quite yet with tons of kills and a big win. Again, a lot of consistent teams. I'd be keeping my eye on complexity this game, but there's about 5 or 6 teams, maybe even more, that can still win.
Yeah, and speaking of consistency, Pox Ronnie's team, that's Ronnie along with Sadyama
Them
coming
as
in
well.
here, and Sonya. So it looks like currently sitting in first place with 42 points. And there we go, our updated leaderboard. Complexity now sitting in second place, VOB in third with 39, and Yeet Squad at 34, and then PMS coming at 33. That's our top 5. Closest below them, though, is going to be NRG. So 8 points down. So I don't think NRG is out of it, but they need a massive game. And they also need teams like VOB, Yeet Squad, and Complexity to kind of die first. But I don't see that happening.
Yeah, and Pox Ronnie's been there at the end again, just like Complexity. So it's not surprising to see these guys over towards the top. But it's fantastic to see them doing it on ping too. Keep in mind, going in from EU, probably pinging around 120, maybe 150 on these servers. So it's the first time that we've seen an EU team in quite some time come up and do this well. You do have a lot of other teams coming in here and showing their stuff, but it's nice to see these guys late at night, grinding early in the morning, whatever time it is for these guys, probably both still getting it going. So fantastic job to them. Props to them. And let's see if they can close this one out. But like you said, anybody over towards this top 5, 6 can do well. You have Yeet Squad, who's looking very strong right now. VOB, they've had some up and down games, but still have been consistent. And then PMS, they could pop off at any given point in time. So I again would expect Energy to have a 30 bomb here in terms of points to win this thing. But there's no reason they couldn't get in towards the top 3.
Yeah, and it's only our top 3 that'll be placing into the money, splitting that $1,000 prize pool that we have today. First place walking away with 500, second place walking away with 400, and 300, and then third place getting 200. And so that's why it's so important to place in the top 3 here. Speaking of the consistency of Pox Ronnie right now, 42 points. They've gotten 8 kills in game number 1 with a second place finish, 5 kills in game number 2 with a 4th place finish, and then 6 kills in our last game there with a second place finish as well. So that is one of the most consistent performances that we've seen so far without a victory. If they can pull out the victory here, it's kind of secure. This could be it for them. But again, with only a 2-point differential between them and second place, and also a 3-point differential between them and VOB, this is going to be very difficult. They cannot make any mistakes here if they want to stay in first.
Yeah, and teams that you don't see on there, that's a little bit surprising because they're so good, would be a team like Team Liquid, like CLG. These teams that have put themselves in really good positions just haven't been able to get towards that final circle, to get the kills that they absolutely need. And here we go with Yeet Squad going on over towards Lava City, as they have been for quite some time. Should be able to get this uncontested, should be able to hit the beacon here, which is nice when it's over towards the side, so you can loot this up even faster and then hit the buildings together on your rotation. So this is going to be nice for these guys. And starting off with a blue, fantastic job for 6.
Yeah, one of the things we really didn't note as well, as the day was unfolding, was that we're not seeing them getting contested. Generally here on the weeklies, we see so many teams contesting them for Lava City. Speaking of contestants, it's going to be that Harvester fight once again. And so Noko, Knocked, and Lion, as they're trying to push up, but the Watson traps are already down. It's going to be Knocked with that knock onto Rambo, and so they might be able to get the team fight win here. Still going to take it slow because one of them, Knocked, doesn't have armor quite yet. Pushing forward now with the bubble. The res has already come out from the Gibraltar. They do have one kind of pinned down, but he's able to make it out to the safety of his team. This fight is taking so long. But luckily for them, this is a center fight, so whoever wins, as long as they don't, lose someone, they should still be able to rotate fairly quickly. But again, this fight is just dragging on for the longest time.
Yeah, these teams contested each other earlier. I think that Lion, Hinoko, and Nock want revenge. Unfortunately, they seem to be a little bit split. Both teams are going to lose someone individually, so that's not good for either one. And like you said, this is lasting so long now that we've seen Liquid rotate this fast where they've left at that 130 mark. So they got to be careful, and no one's going to have any resources because of the fact that they're using all the cells, using all of the ammo. So this is very unfortunate for both of these teams, but I think it's something where they need the early kill points. They want to work on their team fighting, and they want to try to snowball a big game to try to get that top 3.
Yeah, it looks like we do see the border of the ring as well, so it's kind of pulling a bit to the northwest. It seems like so we're going to see the rotations coming out from the squads over at Tree, over at Sorting Factory coming over, and there it is. So another Western ring coming out, but as you can see, the pings coming out from members squad here. They're going to go ahead and ping that caravan, and we'll see if that will be the final circle. But the fact that they're taking so long in that fight, you have to worry about the third party now coming in from Sorting Factory. So we're not going to see the conclusion of that fight quite yet, as it looks like it did just fizzle. Up here at Skyhook, though, we're not going to see a fight coming out from CLG and Pubski's team, as it looks like teams have just kind of split up the Skyhook side.
And the portal's going to come and help Amu get up here fairly quick because they don't want to lose anybody, but it seems like they're safe. And this is one of those zones where if you could set up with this Watson, with this Caustic, it's going to be fairly deadly. We already know these guys have one dub under their belt, and that's why they set the portal. They have information that another team is around, multiple teams around. You have Energy in the vicinity over towards the large side of train, the big warehouse, and it's going to be a knock and a finish onto Nathan. So not what you're looking for if you're an NRG fan, and also not the armors that you were looking for. Keep in mind, we know this is where they're going to land, so they're just going to stay, hang out there, and not have any type of way to get this guy back unless they probably sacrifice their lives, which is not what they want to do.
Ooh, the caustic gas, and this is why you don't try to push. Let's take a look. Decent spray coming out, but he does have to fall down as Rambo is still knocked, and he's just by himself. He will go down. That's the first squad out, and that's going to be VOB to pick up those kill points. On board with Synced Wicked and Timmy here as they're trying to just strangle out NRG. The two of them left inside this train cart now as Timmy getting to just a little bit, and the flank comes in. Rocker is able to get the knock onto Wicked, but he's not going to be able to finish him off, and NRG are out.
Unfortunate for Energy, they needed a big game, and we talked about just how bad the train loot is. They're not able to find any good armors. They get collapsed on from multiple angles by the time they can even rotate or even get the high ground. So a little sloppy from Energy, but also extremely unfortunate that they're not able to get any resources. Another fight happening over here towards No Name. A couple of good teams going at it. 303's team fighting has been very impressive. It's actually shocking to not see them higher.
Yeah, I think in the last game they ended up just kind of getting pinched over in the same cave now. But taking this fight, they should be able to win this out, even pushing through his own thermite there as just one shot. There we go. Never mind, it was a 2-shot. Is he going to be able to finish that off? 303. Like we said, we've been seeing them getting into a lot of fights on every single game. And they've been looking largely successful. Just, I think, it comes down to the placements as well as a lot of other factors. But they haven't been able to really climb up the leaderboard. As back on board with VOB, they're going to be up here for quite some time. I don't think any team's going to try and challenge them once they spot out that it is a Watson and Caustic composition. Surprised that they were pushed at all in the first place.
Yeah, I think you get forced into pushing teams like this sometimes, and you don't really want to because you start to come in and rotate, and it looks safe for a second, and then next thing you know, a team that hasn't put up the Watson fences comes down and shoots you, and that's exactly what VOB did. So back looking at what 303 has, great armors, solid R301. You have the gold barrel on it with the purple light mag, so that's something that you're really happy about if you're Phony Head. And they have all of their resources right now too, so they're looking like a strong force on the map. They're going to be playing edge, and now you get a good look at the mini map to see exactly what's going on with Complexity and the rest of these teams starting to rotate in. So look at all those red dots over towards that train yard drill site side. A couple of teams holding on that Mirage side, but it's really going to go down in train yard. That seems to be where everybody's predicting this is going to end.
Yep. There we go. The ping's coming out. You got the information. We'll see if Complexity want to push off of that. But as we do have on the north side of drill site, there's 2 teams here. So if they want to, they can go for this fight. It is fairly isolated, but with the weaponry, I don't really quite seeing them hard committing onto a team. Yeah, G7 Scout with the charge rifle, not really what you want to bring into a close range fight. Let's see exactly how they want to play this position out. The Sentinel connecting. Dooku forced to quickly pop into that queue and get back into the safety of his squad. And that's unfortunate that he didn't have his teammate there to cover that door for him, or at least open it for him.
Kondu doesn't like doors, apparently. So we have 2 really good teams directly on top of one another. This is going to be, I believe, what's their team name? Pony Rocks?
Paxrani.
Paxrani, okay.
But I like Pony Rocks better. I like Pony Rocks better. I was like, that's a much better name.
Paxrani, they're right below Vane Amu Blitzen VOB. So 2 teams within the top 3, top 5 going to be duking out over towards the train yard. That's going to be a super interesting fight that we got to keep our eye on. But while this is happening, tons of teams rotating edge. This team's trying to make their way over towards sorting, but you have a team that's holding on top of the snake over towards the harvester side. That's a very tough rotation and a very, very cheeky gatekeep over here.
Yeah. Without too many opportunities for other third parties as well. Can't imagine so many teams are going to be here on the south side of the ring on board with PMS as Naughty takes so much damage there. As they're just trying to keep control of this connector. It can be difficult at times. A quick Q coming out from Pride as he's trying to get back to his squad. They've got the gen down, and so he wants the natty heal off. They're even going to go ahead and use that bubble because they were expecting the push coming out. Muffins is just buying time for Pride, but Muffins is going to get cracked and is dropped down to 40 HP as the Arcstar even comes in, backing away. And does he get knocked? He does, as it's now left to Naughty and Pride to try and hold the line. It's all to Naughty by himself, and 303 coming in with vengeance here as Naughty. Sorry, your own gen is working against you at this point, and in the 1v3, he will not be able to clutch it out. They will go down.
Another top team dropping, and we were talking about 303, how good their team fighting has been. They proved it right there. They seem to be so good at these little skirmishes. They are extremely aggressive. They're extremely confident. Their shots look great, and great decision-making and use of their utilities. So fantastic, fantastic fight for 303 right there. And super unfortunate for one of our top teams, PMS. Doesn't look like they'll be finishing first as they were hoping for. But now on board with CLG, let's see who they're going to be going up against. It's going to be EC. So this is a tough spot. This is the liquid building that we're talking about. They capture the player inside of the portal. Sneaky play. I don't think they're going to be able to fence that one off in time, though. They don't even have a Watson, so that play doesn't work out for them, but it's still fun to watch.
Yeah, that was quite the kidnapping coming out, but they are able to recover as now they've lost any kind of initiative. There was an opportunity for them, but things are going to settle down just a little bit. It looks like they have just backed away from this. Pow doesn't want it to end, though, as he's going to go ahead and push forward, and he spots them just zipping away. So that fight will go ahead and nope, he's going to chase. He's going to chase.
Yeah, and he's also taking a nice little angle here with Pathfinder. Let's see if he can get him going up the zip. That player isn't going to take the zip all the way and is just going to use it to push over towards the middle. And now you got to be careful because a lot of times what you're trying to do is you're trying to take these new angles, but you always want to use the map in front of you. So he takes a lot of damage right there. He's going to have to use a battery, but CLG not slowing down. Great shots there with the R9 and a switch on over to the Mastiff there by Madness. And I guess Madness is going to try to do his best Liam Nielsen impression after he got taken, because that was pretty frustrating to see when you go and get inside of a building and then you get portaled on. They're very fortunate that they didn't have a Watson on that other end if you're EC, and now they're trying to punish these guys charging inside the building, and it looks like CLG's got them on the ropes.
Yeah, they do get a knock, though. It's a 1-for-1 exchange. Well, kind of, as Powell will be able to take out Rolders. Swervesy and A is down to nothing, but no CLG. Just the angles were set up for them. They're going to be able to get the armor swap along with the reses. There shouldn't be anyone, honestly, on this side of the map to try and punch this at all. And so as the ring does close in on them, they should get into the safety of it. So, wow, what a fight. As that was a long chase. You have to remember that it was also a long chase. I think he was trying to punch him in, but accidentally he started shooting him.
It's so surprising to see them win this fight. Great job by Aves opening it up with the knock onto Vaxon. Possibly that was the guy at the door, but look how weak they are. They're at least 10 HP each. They're not able to get the finish right there. Powell's not able to get the knock. He finally does, but it was Aves getting the first kill and the last kill onto CLG, as well as the armor swap and the reses. Nasty job by EC, and that just seems to be the type of day that CLG is going to have. They started off so strong in the first game, predicting where the circle was. They weren't able to get the necessary kills, and they needed to take a fight, and they weren't able to win it. But 303 getting aggressive again.
303 needs to get aggressive. They need to have a big pop-off game, but Shiny is their complexity, doing such a good job of using the angles from this bubble now. It's all up to Oi Senpai, but will the massive be enough? No, Monsoon will be able to finish that off. Any third parties coming in, it looks like they'll be safe for now, as they got the armor swaps as well. And so they survive here as we swap on over. Finally, the fight is going to take place over here at Drill Site. As Noko and Lion and Noct. They've got a team underneath them now. It's Noct. Ooh, nice little flick, but he only hits with the 32. Is forced into that queue to get back to his squad. As Noko is trying to cover him with that G7 Scout. Lion is going to find his way up top as well. Struggling, eventually. There we go. He's got up top onto the roof. We'll go ahead and just clear these as they want to try and find this fight, but it's just going to fizzle once again as neither team really hard committing.
Yeah, Lion's like, I'm used to playing Pathfinder. I don't like to crawl up here like some sort of peon. What's going on here? Having to clamber up the side of the building, but I do like to see him sticking with these guys. He did recently have a team change, and it seems like they're going to be trying to vibe out and see what their teamwork would be like. But speaking of Pathfinder, we have Timmy over here with Wicked in sync, trying to get something on the train station side. And Jamerson, look how hard this zone pulled. Everyone was predicting over towards train. Instead, it's going to happen more towards the middle. And now everyone going to have to rotate over towards this back end. This is going to be brutal for these guys coming in on this side.
Yeah, we know on the high ground. Timmy knows on the high ground. That's going to be the OB up there. And they're just clearing out their back. I mean, they do have that low ground to work with. And so they'll be safe down there. As you can see, Sync has that angle currently. And as we swap on over, Aves and them getting into another fight. Count Duke will be finished off. We'll see if Noko's team actually want to take advantage of this right now. They can not go for the third party. No trades there. And so I don't think we'll be seeing a push coming out from them as EC picking up some more and more kills.
Nasty shots by EC. Raiders, great job. Everybody collapsing on that. You see the R9 massive over here onto Aves. They're really starting to feel themselves after getting that kill and that team wipe onto CLG. So they continue with the momentum. They're in the edge, just waiting for this next zone to rotate, and then they'll find out exactly how they want to play this one. But 10 squads left, still anybody's game. You still have these guys here in first place just waiting it out. You still have VOB in this one. I believe you still have Complexity waiting in the shadows as well. So this zone right here, zone 4, again, where all the teams really start to just fade away. And we're going to start to see who's going to be able to pull out the top 3 here in about 2 minutes.
Yeah, that was our #1 squad, Pox Ronnie. So they have a decent position, not far to run as well. But, you know, they have got a team to the northwest and in the northeast. The issue here is, again, just trying to put, bully a few of these teams out. I believe that's Noko's team to their east right now, as it looks like, there we go, they were able to regroup, and they have this position to work with for now. How hard do they want to commit to this? They can rotate to the south if they want. As Timmy, oh, they're getting ported on. We have the Arc Star out, but did it get eaten up? No, it did not. It looks like they were able to thwart that push for now, but there is the crack. Arc Star excuse me, not the Arc Star, the Thermite gets eaten there. And Timmy thinking possibly he might want to try and make a push onto this. And knowing Timmy, I full-heartedly see him going in on this.
Yeah, Timmy's going to try to do something where he's going to open up for the rest of his teammates, but he has to be careful that he doesn't get beamed. He has to time it with Syncdez, but Amu ripping him. It's going to be Syncdez going down, excuse me, to Amu's, I believe, Scout. So nasty Scout there by VOB. Meanwhile, you have EC taking a fight over towards the train tracks. Just chaos again as this zone's going to close very soon. Everybody starts to clear out their backs. Double Gibraltar bubble going down. And again, just nasty, nasty team fighting by EC.
Yeah, EC are just opening it up today as it's all decoys left there, but he will get finished off. And now, will they be able to recover him? It looks like he is safe, and so they'll be able to get Swervesy back into this. 9 squads remaining, 27 players left, and we know that there were some trades going on over that fight. Timmy's squad and them up against Onmu, and they do actually take out VOB.
VOB sitting over towards the top 3. They're going to lose that fight. That's going to be huge for the rest of these teams here. This is NLK. They haven't been able to get anything going besides this 4th game, so it's nice to see them pick up the momentum. They're in a great spot to rotate here. Gatekeep as well. 3 players starting to push in on to Knock, and now you're going to need the help. Knock with a nice spray. Gets knocked, but he does have a decent amount of damage onto these guys. We'll see if they're going to be able to follow up. Line's fairly weak, so it's going to be all up to Noko.
Nice shots with that wingman, actually, but it's the help of Poxrani coming in as well. You also see on the kill feed that Monsoon gets a knock onto Bowser, so a lot of our heavy hitters still alive here, but the trades, things are looking bad. Complexity now will be able to finish them off, and so one threat out of the way, but there's still others remaining as Tempo was able to finish off the rest of Noko's squad.
And this is it right here. You have Complexity going up against Poxrani. Poxrani in first place, Complexity right behind them, and they do smell blood. So the Bloodhound the Bloodhound scan is going to come in, and the big fight happening over towards the bubble.
Oh no, one fell, and so it's going to be a 2v3 up top. It's going to be a 1v3 as the Wraith just queues on out of there. Monsoon gets that knock onto Matt Pickett as he does take cover once again. Great hit with the 101 on that PK. Backs off to his team. They do not need to force the issue. And like you said, it's that top 1, top 2. That's what we're trying to hit now. As production did tell me that it's only the top 2 placing. $700 for first place, $300 for second place. So no more top 3 here in our weeklies.
Bumping up for first place. I like to see it. That's why everybody is really trying to posture over here, trying to get this first place in kills and in the placement. Complexity in a great spot. You have Poxrani sitting right there in the shadows waiting to strike as well. Complexity not too far from this zone, and have great resources in terms of armor. Still have a decent amount of ammo, and the PK for Monsoon is going to be fairly deadly. So they're going to gatekeep this team, and then they're going to rotate with a late bubble while still having Portal.
Oh, that's a huge knock, as well as Rolders is able to pick up Sadyama. And so now it should just be two teams of duos left in this lobby. As soon as he gets thirsted, I don't know if they'll be able to recover him. But this is huge for Complexity for this rotate in. They don't have to worry about the other teams to their north right now. It's almost a free one as no one's looking at them. Everyone's taking fights everywhere else here as Tempo's squad will go down. We're down to 4 squads, 11 players remaining. So that's just one duo left now as the ring will go ahead and pull over to the western edge, that high ground. Who will be able to get on there? It's going to be very difficult for Complexity.
Yeah, EC having a field day right now. They're just lighting everybody up down below them. You have continuous scans going on. Plenty of ammo, still 130 shots left inside of the R9 for Aves. And it's up to Complexity to just try to live as long as they can. It's going to be Shiny now, who's doing his best job to try to rat it out. But Aves leaving the high ground just temporarily. It's okay, though. The portal comes down. So EC just in a great spot right now and just completely lighting it up. But Poxrani, they've lived throughout all this. Complexity goes down. That's great for them. They were in first place, so if they can secure a couple more points, they may be our winners here.
The high ground versus the low ground here is we're seeing a lot of trades. It does just slow down for just a moment as both teams reset. But again, it's about the other squads. Where are they going to be in terms of this battle? Who's going to kind of spoil this at this point? As right now, we got 20 seconds until the ring starts closing, and they do have a decent position, does Poxrani. It's just a little bit difficult here. I gotta hope that maybe there's another squad that kind of spoils the high ground position up top.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's going to be Shiny that's still ratting. If he's able to live until second place, maybe that's going to be enough points, but it has to be Poxrani just living until at least third. I think that it's going to be difficult for them to win this game. You have EC with superior positioning over towards the high ground. As long as nobody slips down and falls and they clear out the rats, they should be fine. The Bloodhound scan is going to help with that, and that should help make the decision that much easier.
Oh, and they know. They're going to go ahead and secure it. Shiny, left by himself, will get finished off, and that might have just been it. As Poxrani now taking the fight up against EC. They're traded 1-for-1, but now it's all up to Sanya by himself here, as he will go down. EC take the game for victory, but Poxrani might have just secured it. You saw that instant shot call coming out from them as soon as Shiny showed up on that kill feed. They all turned 180 instantly onto him.
That's exactly what they were looking for because it was only a couple of points differentiating these teams. Great job by Pox Ronnie, but EC with the final game just absolutely mopping teams when we weren't expecting that. CLG had the early advantage inside that fight, but it was going to be Abe's with the knock in the opening fight onto Vaxlon. They get the finish onto Pau as well. And they just started to gain confidence and started to rack up a lot of points. I want to see how many kills they got. And on top of that, 12 points for the placement. That was a huge game, maybe our biggest game of the day. So props to them and props to all the teams that finished towards the top. But Pox Ronnie, I believe, is going to be our winner.
Yeah, I feel like the EC squad ended up taking 5, maybe 6 fights throughout that entire game and winning them out in the 3v3s. And so they should have a lot of points. If we don't see them in the top 5, I'd be surprised, especially with a showing like that. But yeah, right now it's all about Pox Ronnie. Did they secure that first place? Where did Complexity do enough to maybe secure second as well? We're gonna find out as soon as we tabulate all the results. Don't go anywhere, guys. We're gonna take a short break as we go ahead and get all the scores lined up for you. We'll have the scores and the top 2 just after this break. Welcome back, everybody, as we do have the results of our Esports Arena North American Weekly here for Apex Legends, and it came down to 1 point, splitting first and second place. And, well, we've got the leaderboard, so let's go ahead and show you guys who the winners are. But for this week, it's going to be Complexity taking the win there with 56 points. Pox Ronnie just not able to secure it. It was really unfortunate. We thought maybe with that kill onto Shiny, they might have just done it, but no. Complexity fragged out in that final game, picking up 9 kill points, while Pox Ronnie, I believe, were only able to secure 4 or 3 points in kill points in that last game.
Only 1 point. Absolutely ridiculous. Congrats to Complexity. Congrats to Poxrani. Thanks to all the teams participating. But I can't believe that it just was Shiny with the rat job of the century, coming out with 4 squads alive, sticking alive in this little corner. Ended up just getting him a couple more points in terms of placement. And that is the difference between $700 and $300, Jamerson.
As well, remember, the reason why Pox Ronnie turned on them was because during that rat, Shiny found one more kill. And so that is the 1 point differential for him. And so not just being able to rat it out, but also getting that kill, getting the extra placement points. So big plays coming out from iShiny here. He's been such a huge contributor to the new Complexity squad now. And it's been so much fun watching them kind of evolve their play style, evolve this composition that they've been running with Reptar as well on that Bloodhound. And so we do have some highlights for the day, but what an amazing showing. Complexity being so consistent along with Pox Ronnie. But again, it's just the top two. And this is what we're talking about. Just this was also the fights that they took as well in game number 3. That was so crucial, setting it up for game number 4.
Again, they were always towards these final circles, and that's what's been so interesting about Complexity is they used to full send a little bit too early. They would take a little bit too many fights, but now they find the nice balance of taking the fights and also getting towards the end zone. And I believe that's the game that you see Yeet Squad go and win. And Yeet Squad was over towards the end in that last game as well. I believe they got a top like 6 or 7 finish, maybe even 5th. So if they were able to get into that zone and create some sort of chaos, possibly they could have pushed their way up towards the leaderboard as well. But it's going to be Complexity, it's going to be Pox Ronnie. The two most consistent teams of today end up getting first and second.
Yeah, and so really excited for this weekend, especially with seeing a lot of these teams starting level up just in time for the final qualifier for the ALGS Summer Circuit. And so I just want to go ahead and take a moment to thank everyone, of course, for watching, all the viewers at home, all of our competitors as well, and everyone over at Esports Arena for putting on such an awesome production. Any final words before we close it out, Tom?
Yeah, that's exciting. I'm ready for the ALGS this weekend.
Yeah, it should be a lot of fun. And so make sure you guys tune into that as well. But that's going to do it for us. Once again, congratulations, Complexity, your first place finishers for this week's Apex Legends North American Weekly tournaments. And of course, well, our EU and CIS representatives as well coming in, yoinking some money from the NA side as well, coming in second place and taking $300. So congratulations to those two squads. Again, be sure to tune into the ALGS this weekend, and we will see you guys again next week for another North American Weekly. That's going to do it for us. Have a good night, everybody.